Welcome to Creatively Optimized, the podcast for service businesses ready to shine online. I'm Jenny Belanger, the founder of Jenny B Designs, a web design studio that builds strategic and beautiful websites that are designed to book you ideal clients and make you money. With over 10 years of growing my own design business, I'm here to share tips to creatively optimize your business. Get ready to learn web design strategies for high converting websites, digital marketing tactics to reach ideal customers, and systems to simplify operations. If you're ready to blend creativity and strategy, you're in the right place. Join me on this journey to creatively optimize your unique business. Let's do this. Do you ever dream of having a stunning new website that accurately reflects your business and attracts your ideal clients? But when you think about the website design process, your mind is spinning with all the technical decisions and all the details involved. Before you let yourself get too overwhelmed, take a breath. I've designed hundreds of small business websites, and I'm going to let you in on a little secret. There are really only 3 core things you need to figure out in order to create an effective site that converts visitors into clients. Today, I'm going to dig into the 3 must-knows more in detail, and then I'll reveal what you actually don't need to know and worry about where you're going to work with the website designer on a new site. Let's get started. First, I just want to thank you for being here and listening to the podcast. I really appreciate it. And if we haven't already met, my name is Jenny B. I own Jenny B Designs. We are a brand and web design studio, and I adore helping small business owners really show up as their authentic selves online and reflect their unique brand and personality to attract ideal clients and make them money with their websites. So let's get right into the episode. We're going to talk about those 3 things that I recommend you truly and fully understand before reaching out to a website designer to build you a new website. The first one is, I want you to know specifically the services, how you offer them, and essentially how you're going to share them out into the world. Let's give an example of kind of what I mean. Let's say that you are a business coach and you work with entrepreneurs who are on their scaling journey. There might be a few different ways that you work with people. Perhaps you offer one-on-one coaching. Maybe you have an accelerator or a limited time group program that you're offering coming up. Maybe it's a quarterly program that you offer. Maybe it's a year-long group coaching program, or perhaps it's a one-day strategy intensive, or it could be a combination of all of the above. But what you really need to be clear on is how you are delivering these services, as in how someone can hire you and what they get for when they hire you at this package. The cost, the things that it's going to include, and how you're going to change their lives with what you're offering to them in these bite-sized services. And why that's important is because it all comes back to how to make money with your website. What are you selling? When you're clear on that, the rest of the website kind of comes together. So you want to know exactly what you're selling. I'll use myself as a second example. If you're a website designer, what are you selling? For me, I'm selling full website design projects. I also offer a website audit for anyone who wants me to look at their website and recommend some DIY improvements that they can make so that they can make their websites work for them a little bit better. I also actually offer website refreshes, I call them. If you have a WordPress website built with Elementor and you want to kind of give it a little bit of a facelift, I offer that as one of my services. So there are a few different ways that you can work with me. And once you have that figured out, that is the first step of putting your website together. The second step, so piece number 2 that you need to know, is your sales process. So let's go back to the business coach who had the one-on-one coaching, she had the group coaching for the year-long program, and then maybe she had the VIP day. So let's talk about those 3 different ways. I want to understand, what is your sales process when someone says that they're ready to work with you in either of these three ways? The first one, the one-on-one coaching. What's your process? Does someone just say, I want to work with Sally, and click a button and all of a sudden they pay and then they become a client? Or do you have a consultation call first to make sure that it's a good fit for both sides? And then from there, you send them the link to make their payment. And maybe there's a deposit and payment plan or something like that in effect. Or for the group program, do you have that open all year round and anyone can join at any time? Or is there a time where registration is open and then registration closes? What is that sales process? I want to know that process because I like to make sure that your website is working hard for you behind the scenes as well. So if you have something that you can just click and buy, then let's set up the right pieces of software that you need behind the scenes to make it happen. But if you want to have a call first, then we're going to need to integrate a calendar or something that allows your potential client to schedule that call. Or if you have certain registration dates, open and close times, then we're going to have to come up with something that works for that as well, that allows us to have open and close dates on the back end. Understanding that process allows me to help you put the best tech for you to work on the backside of your website. I'm going to go back to the coaches because I do work with a fair amount of coaches and consultants, people who work with others in an ongoing basis, but they buy packages of appointments. I have found that I have a lot of clients like that, and it's important to find a piece of software that works, that allows their clients to buy a package of appointments with them and then to be able to book those appointments online behind the scenes without having my client have to do anything to make that happen. So understanding that sales process allows me to build you a better website that can work better for you behind the scenes. And you don't have to be on top of everything, managing every single inquiry with email after email, trying to schedule calls and send them booking payments and things like that. That is why knowing your sales process is really important. So we talked about, you need to know your services, what you offer, and your sales process. What happens if someone is interested in that service? And the third thing I think you need to know is, what is your differentiator? What makes you really special? How are you changing your clients' lives? And why does someone want to work with you? And I really love this one because we are all unique. Just in a few groups alone that I'm in, there are probably at least 100 different website designers out there. But what makes me different is that I really love combining the beauty of design and bringing out your unique and fun personality into one, and building a website that really works for you behind the scenes to attract your ideal client and make you money. That is my differentiator. I really love to blend that ease and beauty into the process. For you, what is your differentiator? What makes your clients want to work with you? If you know that, then we are able to pull that out into all the other aspects that would be included in your website, which would be your branding and your copy, and eventually the design that I create, as well as the journey, the customer journey when someone lands on your website. So those three things are what you really need to know and be clear on. Your services, what is it specifically that you're offering? What is your sales process? What happens when someone wants to work with you? And what is your differentiator? How you make your clients' lives better? Why would someone want to work with you? I'm going to say there's the caveat, a fourth one that you might need to know, but if you don't know, after we talk together on the consultation call, you will know. And that is your overall website goal. What is it? A lot of times people just know they have a business, it's going really well, and maybe they're on that journey where they just feel it's time to rebrand and build a new website. But they just know it in their bones, it's time to do that. But do they know what actually is the goal of their website. A lot of people don't. And every single website needs to have a goal. Let's go back to that coach that I talked about before. Her sales process. For her, we talked about for her one-on-one coaching, she wants to have that consultation call with people. That's really important to her to make sure that she is working with clients that is a good fit for both of them. That is the first step of her sales process that we talked about, to have that consultation call. When thinking about her website, what should we be driving every single visitor to do? Book that consultation call. That is the goal of your website. Now, when you meet with me on a consultation call or we start a website design project, you might not come out and say, this is the goal of my website. But as soon as you start telling me about your services and then your sales process, it is clear to me what your goal is and everything kind of falls into place. So you need to know those three things. And if you know the goal, that's great. But if you don't, I'll pull it out of the information that you share from the answer to those three above questions. Now let's talk about what you don't need to know, because I don't want you to be overwhelmed when you are starting a website design project. I walk my clients through the entire process from start to finish. And sometimes it includes all the things, and sometimes it includes just a few of the things. But I'm going to talk about what you actually don't need to know. And if you already know some of these things, then that's great. You're coming to the project even better equipped. But for those of you who don't know these things, that's okay. I can help you. The first thing that you don't need to know is your branding. This is your visual branding, your logo, your colors, your fonts, how you want to appear online. If you don't know that, or you know that the look that you have isn't fitting your business at the moment, that's okay. We can figure it out together. I'm happy to help you create a new logo and colors and fonts and to come up with how you want to represent your brand visually online at this stage in the game. Branding, if you don't have it or you want to update it, don't worry about it. We can figure it out together. The second thing is the copy, the words on your website. You know your services and you know your sales process. And in your mind, you know what makes you different. But a lot of times, it's really hard to articulate this brand messaging in your website copy. That's why I always recommend bringing on a website copywriter to the project. They just have an incredible ability to bring out all of those thoughts that are floating in our brain, put them in paper in what sounds like our voice, but is also written in a way to speak to your ideal client and connect with them on a very deep and powerful level, encouraging them to take that action, that goal of your website. So if you don't have copy that you want on your website, don't worry about it. We can bring a copywriter onto the project and really hone into the words that we want to have on the website. Now, if you choose not to bring on a copywriter onto your website design project, then I have some really great templates to help you truly understand what content should be appearing on your website and what is the goal of that content. For example, on your hero, when someone lands on your website, they want to know who you are, what you do, how you help, and a call to action. I have some templates that share with you what kind of should be going in this location. And from there, if you feel like you have a good handle on your brand, then you can come up with the words that would appear on the website. So don't worry when you're going into a website consultation about a new web design, about the copy on your website. There are professionals that we can bring in, or I have some helpful information that you can write yourself. But just know that you'll get the right words where they need to go. And you can do that after you get the project going. Another thing you don't need to know about is buying a domain or buying hosting. If you already have a website, you probably already have a domain. But maybe you're new in business, so you don't. Or maybe you're rebranding and you're changing your URL, that address that your website lives at. Don't worry about buying the domain. Don't worry about hosting. I walk you through the process and do as much of it as I can. And you still retain ownership of both of those pieces because that's important. How many times have I seen web designers buying domains for their clients and then not handing them over at the end of the project? You need to own these yourselves. It's so important. But I guide my clients on the process, so no need to worry about any of that before we get started. You also don't need to know how to collect payment. Let's go back to the group coach, the business coach. She has that group coaching program. In fact, she allows people to join it at any point in time. And to join it, it's a monthly fee. And so all she wants to do is to be able to set up a recurring payment for those clients and then have them fill out some paperwork. Well, you need a way to collect payment. And if you don't have anything in place, then let's talk about it. And I could recommend the best way to integrate that on the back end of your website. Same thing about email lists and email marketing. You have a newsletter and you're not quite sure which provider you should use or how we could integrate it into the website. I help as well, giving you my recommendations and walking you through the process. What about scheduling those consultations online? You went to my website, you scheduled that consultation with me, did it all electronically on the calendar, got the email reminder, everything booked online. Thought it was pretty cool, and you want to put something in place the same way on your website. Don't have to worry about that. I'm happy to guide you on the right piece of software. As well, I'm always thinking about what can we combine into one and consolidate, because less is more, and that includes your software behind the scenes for your website. And finally, if you sell items, I don't do a lot of e-commerce, larger e-commerce brands, which means selling items online, but I do some smaller. If you have 10 or under products that you sell, or perhaps you sell electronic items and things like that, PDFs or courses. As well, I'm happy to help you figure out how to do this. So you just need to have a handle on what you want to do, plus those 3 items, and from there, I can make it happen for you. So there we go. Let's recap the things that you do need to know before building a new website with a web designer. Is your services, exactly what you offer. And you need to really have a handle on your sales process, what happens or what you want to happen when someone wants to work with you. And then finally, your differentiator, how you make your clients' lives better. If you know those 3 things, then when you talk to a website designer, they will be able to help you handle all the rest of the items to create a really beautiful website that attracts your ideal clients and makes you money online. And if you think that you might be ready for a website redesign project, I would really love to help you. Just need to know those 3 things. Book a consultation call with me on my website using my calendar that's working behind the scenes, and we can chat about it, and I'm happy to point you in the right direction. It would be a joy to help you get set up online to really shine and attract your ideal clients. Thank you for listening, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks so much for listening to this podcast all the way to the end. I really appreciate you being here. Please make sure to subscribe to the podcast, rate, review, and share it with someone else you know it can help. If you like this episode, then I want to invite you to visit jennybedesigns.com, where you'll find videos and resources to help make your current website work even harder for you. And if you're feeling like your current website doesn't truly reflect you or your brand today, it's not attracting your ideal clients or making sales, or maybe you just feel embarrassed by it and it's holding your business back, then reach out. I'd love to help you design a website that truly reflects you, works for you 24/7, bringing in those ideal clients and making you money. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time for another new episode.